So a lot of people absolutely love K-pop Demon Hunters. That's just a fact. Like, I'm sure, like, I love it. I'm sure maybe if you're watching, maybe you love it. But it's a known fact that it's very popular, and it's rated very high by like, critics and users by on like different websites and stuff. But so I started to think, because obviously, no matter what like is created, no matter what you create, no matter what, someone, at least one person out there, is not gonna like something. So I started to wonder, the people who don't like K-pop Demon Hunters, I started to think, well, what are the criticisms? Are like they valid? Are they just random nonsense? So I got curious and I wanted to find an answer. So I took it upon myself to go to IMDb page of K-pop Demon Hunters and look through some of the user reviews. And some of them I found were kind of interesting. So I wanted to share them here today. So going through the user reviews on the K-pop Demon Hunters IMDb page, I was going down, I found this review that rates it as a 6 out of 10. It's titled Manufactured Tension. It reads, so manufactured tension that could have been resolved by just telling her very supportive bandmates. Meh. Some jokes got a few giggles. The songs could have been fun if they had gone full on weird K-pop and not American pop. It had potential, but it's stuck to save. It's still for slightly above average entertainment for kids. The animations are very good. However, I'd rather rewatch The Incredibles than In the Back Here. To be fair, I don't think this is made for me. So fair warning, if you're a millennial guy like me, thinking all the 10 out of 10 reviews must be onto something, and this could cure the way for Spider-Verse 3. Okay, so, the issue is I find with this first line is that it's shown in the movie that Rumi, like, wanted to and tried to tell, Mira and Zoe about her patterns. However, it was also shown in the movie that Celine had, told her not to, and sort of reaffirmed her insecurities. Just like, that's just my opinion, that's just how I viewed it. But yeah. And then, I'm not trying to hate on The Incredibles here, but that's kind of insane. Like, I love The Incredibles, but that's kind of insane to say. I mean, yeah, of course, it's not made for everyone. Like, of course, like, a lot of people aren't gonna like it. And I can 100% relate, but I can 100% relate with, waiting for Spider-Verse 3. That's, I feel like, was one of the only things I agree with in this review. Okay, so this next review rates the movie as a 5 out of 10. It's titled, It Was Okay. The review reads as, stumbling upon this 2025 Netflix animated movie without knowing about it, I opted to watch it on account of being a movie I hadn't already seen before. So I virtually didn't know what I was in for here, and thus had no expectations. Writers Daniel Jimenez, Hannah McMecken, Maggie Kang, and Chris Applehans put together a fair enough script and storyline. It made for a fair enough entertaining viewing experience, though it was a bit corny actually. It was definitely an original concept idea. There are some puzzling mistakes throughout the narrative. For example, while the trio is fighting the demons aboard the plane and singing, they somewhat, okay, I'm going to assume he said, this person trying to say somewhat here, they somewhat carried on with the song once they landed at the arena where their show is to be held, which indicated that the fans have been listening along to the singing in the plane. Otherwise, it would have been a strange, out of context, and short song. And then there was the fact that the fans could sing along to a newly released single, even though the fans were listening to it for the first time. I was wondering why the dialogue was in English, if this was supposed to be K-pop, Korean pop. It should be noted that the voice acting in K-pop Demon Hunters was good, in spite of it being in English. The animation art style used in K-pop Demon Hunters was vibrant, colorful, and good. I liked that part about it. I will definitely admit. The songs in the movie was, however, mostly bordering on being annoying. But of course that stems from it being far from the genre of music I listen to normally. Watchable for sure, but I am sure a younger audience will enjoy this animated movie a lot more than I did. Not that I didn't enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters. My rating of K-pop Demon Hunters lands on a 5 out of 10 stars. Okay, so... Okay, the first two, I guess, the first two parts of this review are just whatever. This third part is definitely interesting. Like, these are extremely nitpicky, just I guess, quote unquote critiques. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say here. And then I feel like it was made by like Sony Pictures Animation, which I don't know if you know this, is an American studio, and so I guess it would make sense that was the dialogue was in English. And so yeah, and then yeah, I can totally understand if you don't like the songs because, as like it's stated in this review, it's far from the genre of music that they listen to. So it's whatever. I'll give them that, sure. But yeah, this is just a somewhat, I guess, weird review. Like, it's mainly borders on just like their personal opinion, which, like, okay, yeah, oh wow, big surprise. That's what all reviews do. But how should I explain this? I don't know. It's just the only problem I really have with this review is this third part, which is like the biggest part of the review. But yeah, so overall, this ain't too bad. There's some valid in terms of their own personal tastes. But I feel like, as you can see on the bottom left here, it shows, like, if you give a thumbs up, you consider this review as helpful. If you give a thumbs down, this review isn't helpful. And you see 82 people gave it a thumbs down, which, I mean, just goes to show that has to mean something, right? Okay, so the final review that we have for now is a review that rates K-pop Demon Hunters a 1 out of 10. It's titled, WTF, how is this a kids/teens show? This is a kids show? Sorry, but what? Offering people to a demon? WTF, are we teaching kids to have empathy with demons now, man? I do understand the point of deceit, and that's why they look handsome, but damn, is it misleading for young girls. I've seen girls say, oh, I would sell my soul to a demon. Like, does this not raise any questions? This is horrible seeing kids say that, even in good fun. Demons IRL would be partying because of that movie, because it's doing a pretty good job in luring them in, man. The lead singer of the boy band is punished for being selfish and choosing lust and wealth over his family, which is a valid consequence. Where exactly is the problem? However, by the end of the film, his suffering is portrayed as tragic, and his violent act of self-sacrifice is framed as redemption. This raises the issue of whether every wrongdoing can truly be undone with a single heroic act. In reality, actions have consequences, and some of them are irreversible. The main character didn't choose her fate, so her situation is more understandable. Still, it would be refreshing to see a story with a genuine villain in a new narrative direction that doesn't rely solely on the theme of accept who you are. Like, these stories are so overly done. Every movie these days seems to be accept who you are. Like, no, please don't. We should move forward and be willing to change in order to improve and grow beautifully. In comparison, the movie Neza, I'm sorry, I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, handles a similar concept, a cursed child destined to become a demon, but changes his fate and questions himself, with much more nuance and depth, handling a similar topic way better. That said, the show does have strong animation and a few funny moments and well-executed choreography. But beyond that, I absolutely hate the portrayal of genuine issues, absolutely horrible and misleading. Okay, so a few things to unpack here. I mean, okay, I don't know where to start. Like, I'm gonna, like, I want you to just like look through this again and just look through it. I want you to think about what you think of this review, because, I mean, look at this. As I point out in like the last review, there were 13 thumbs up and 185 thumbs down. I've never seen that. What? What? Like, I'm at a loss for words here. Like, I don't even know. I'm just gonna focus on the third part of this review just to keep this short. But I feel like accept who you are is a very good message to have in movies. Like, I feel like, as this person says, we should move forward and be willing to change. I agree with that. I feel like you need to accept who you are first. I feel like that's a good message to teach everyone. I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with, and I've seen a lot of people like relate to Rumi and like her being like, her and her insecurities, and like by the end of the movie she accepts them, and I feel like a lot of people can like relate to that. So yeah, I don't really get what they're trying to say here, but yeah, I just don't know. Like I don't know what to say. When I first read this, I was like, I had a whole bunch of ideas of what I was gonna say, but now after reading it again, I feel like I might have lost like maybe like a brain cell here. But I think I'm gonna have to end it here for this. Just like no. Yeah, like, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm gonna go take like I don't know, an 8-hour nap, and yeah, see you next time. Hopefully, if you're stick around for next time. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, and yeah, see ya.